All right, and we're live. What's up, everybody? So, if you guys are like us, we've been blown away by the show from on Epix TV, and everybody's been talking about it. Tons of theories, but we got a big one. We got a big one. So, I wanted to call my uncle onto the show and hit us with this new information that you got.
So, everybody's been watching. The different theories have been going around about, well, are they in limbo?
Yeah.
Are near the where they at? But episode 6, I just hit this up, is that in the diner on the lunch board was the last words of a poem. It said, "Forever is composed of nows."
Mm,
OWS. Now, you look that up from Emily Dickinson, and it got a complete synopsis of what that poem means. Hold on. Now,
okay. So, episode 6 looks like book 74. And
right.
it looks like Boyd's plan to head off into the forest provokes an unexpected response from Kenny. Jade enlists Jim help with an experiment while Tabitha makes a chilling discovery.
So, now, this is the synopsis of the words on that message board. Forever is composed of nows.
Mm,
Presents the idea that every small moment is happening now and collectively adds up to forever or a lifetime. What
mhm,
seems so intangible and distant is actually being created out of the experiences we have in the moment.
mm. I mean, it still is one of those more questions. A question with a question.
Yeah, of course, yeah, of course.
We are here, and it is now.
Exactly. But
Man,
I'm looking at this and I'm like, the homes that they're in, the cribs that they're in. You check it out. It's like they discovered there's no
mhm,
electrical sockets. Nothing looks like it's real, except
exactly.
the lights. It's like they live in a dollhouse,
Yes, it does. Or a set or
or
some sort of yeah, like a set.
exactly. So like they're being, like they would be in a giant snow globe under observation that they can't
Yeah.
see out from.
And this actually brings a lot of references to WandaVision. And I know it's a different channel, different network, but sometimes networks do the same type of thing. They're like, hey, let me take this idea. I mean, there's been WandaVision, and before that was the Dome, right? And so
under
these
under the dome.
under the dome, these type of popular shows are big for these type of studios. But yeah, I can see how it really covers so many different theories, and it's so deep. I mean, great writing for you guys who are just checking this out and may not be familiar with the show. We're talking about the show on Epix TV. The show's called From. So let me get your next theory. You said fishbowl. Where are they? Do you think they're in a fishbowl?
In a fishbowl, in a snow globe. They
That's
had to
right.
they had to have been snatched from the road. They
That
just
is a fact.
they were just driving. The next thing you know is they're in the town. They tried to loop back out. Um,
And
can't
I just seen something
back.
earlier. It was a comment that someone put on another video. I don't remember whose name it was, but they said that there's a possibility that Jade, because the way the guy came in and he kind of swerved into Jim's mobile home and made Jim go off.
Yeah,
They're saying that is there a possibility that he wasn't coming from the tree and he just was on that road at some sort of random there, or could he have already been there?
yeah. I look at it. If I look at it that way, it looks like he just came through. Let's just say the same type of void that all of them did. Just
Mhm.
happened to be there.
An
Number
accident happened before he could even see the tree.
Yeah, well, number one, he and his boy were ripped. They they,
Yeah, so
they
they
were
don't
they
know.
were polluted driving. So
And he
they,
was asleep. That's why he didn't say he saw the tree, because he was in the back seat.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I
Nobody. It seems like nobody, especially like the Matthews family in that Winnebago. You know, everybody was always talking. They weren't paying attention on the road. So it's possible that there was something in front of them at that split second that let's say teleported them, transported them to where they are now.
mhm. I agree. And
I
going
truly.
back to the poem you said by Emily Dickinson, does that like what's the like some of the deeper meanings with that? Does that mean like, Is that someone like teleportation, transportation, and that, or other than self or something like that?
It kind of means what I get it is that where it says where it says what seems so intangible and distant is actually being made up out of the experiences we have in the moment.
Okay. And I remember now I was saying that was a lot of similarities to like Sphere, where
Y-
they could manifest, they ran into some energy, some
yes,
spirit, some force, right? And then that force gave them some sort of ability to make their dreams come true,
right. And the thing is,
or nightmares.
yeah, I was going to say not necessarily dreams, because each and every one of them's got a backstory with some kind of pertinent drama.
Hmm.
The Matthews family was going through the divorce. The kids are
Yep.
upset behind that. The priest, who was not always a priest,
Yeah, right.
you know, Boyd and his wife, who are
Yep.
coming from military experiences,
Hmm.
bringing that subconscious drama to the forefold. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. And someone else was saying that it could be possible that the energy that's bringing them there, feeds off that, like the despair, or
Yes.
the doneness, like, because, saying that Boyd was retiring, he was pretty much done,
Yeah.
with that part of his life.
Pretty much.
Uh, and
Yeah.
so, and I guess the rest of the family, they were done too.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like, and going back to creating experiences out of now, out of your personal now, like the first killing with that little girl opening the window, talking about, the woman there was supposed to be her grandmother, but she's like, you don't look like my grandmother, but that image
Hmm.
of a grandmother is what got her to open that door.
Yeah, yeah,
That dude that let that girl in, that had the flowers, talking about let me in, that's something that he conjured up from probably a past lost love. So it seems like these creatures, these things, are manifesting in ways that would kind of make you drop your guard.
yeah.
So
And I like that a lot, because there's another theory that when the girl was running towards the porch, on, let me see, I can go back here. On, I believe it was episode 7, when we see her outside of, yeah, here on episode 7, at the point where she's on the balcony, or going inside, and she sees the boy, and he says, don't you recognize me? Internet is saying that that's possibly her brother, her dead brother.
yeah, 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 could be, yeah,
Because why else would he say, don't you recognize me?
yeah,
I thought it was gonna be like her past boyfriend. I'm like, I already get it.
right.
We all seen the other movie. We all seen 1883.
Yeah, yeah. Know how that went.
We know how that went. It took a sharp left, like,
Never came back.
and so, but I thought that was cool. And so that kind of proves what you're saying, like how it could be, figments, or from these people, just by how much they actually know about them all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're manifesting it directly from their subconscious.
Mhm. And does that lead to the question, where is somebody here controlling it? Like, is one of them actually the creating of the world?
Yeah, you know, I gotta, if I'm gonna look at it like that, I gotta look at that Korean woman who's making the food. Where's the food coming from? Why she always got food?
Right? I mean, she's the real Mrs. Fish and Loaves.
Yeah,
Forget Boyd.
she don't never seem to be upset, but doing it nothing but telling them to calm down or eat food. But she's always, they've been there.
Uh-huh.
People have been there since, like, Victor's been there since he was a little
Hmm.
boy.
Hmm.
Where's she coming up with tea? Yo,
Yeah.
you'll hear some. She just has tea. Where's this coming from? Got coffee, got pancakes every day. Don't they
Hmm.
run out? Ain't nobody
Man,
crushing up grains.
the guy Jade, knew it was fake once he was sitting having a nice breakfast. He had coffee, eggs. He had cheese, eggs, grits, and Welch's
Full
grape.
spread. Where's
He
it
had
coming?
a full spread, pancakes, flapjacks. He had both.
He had a great
Coffee.
slam breakfast every day for 50 days and ain't running out.
Yeah, right. He had a coffee mug with his name laminated on it when he got there. Right. Of course, it's a TV show, right?
Right, of course, yeah. But where are they all floating around from? Where
Yeah.
where where are they at? In limbo somewhere?
I mean, they keep saying the pocket dimension, and when they start talking about stuff like that, Then
Yeah.
that takes me to the Ritual on Netflix and Antlers and into the whole Wendigo and more of the Norse or Nordic mythology,
With the
because
with the talismans in the room.
exactly, yep, and the drawings and just the way they are as far as the energy and the sorrow, because Antlers, that it did take over a town,
Yep.
and it did possess like a person,
Yep.
and it pretty much came out of that person into the Wendigo, or in the Nordic they called it like a junt or something, a junto or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And they were in the woods. In the Ritual, they were in the woods, and then it had the ability to mislead and confuse them, and pretty much bring them to a hidden village, right?
Yeah. So,
I
but
mean,
and then going to like the next to last episode where they was where they're in the tent, that episode there, and her climbing the steps to it's definitely there, that's a lighthouse tower.
yes,
I could see the open windows where she was going up in the lighthouse tower. And again, when they were in the tent getting pulled, they weren't getting rotated, they was getting pulled towards I'm going to have to say, I bet you they wind up like on the cliff near that lighthouse. But the light was going, it was like a circular light going past them, and then darkness. Then the light came back again with the foghorn. So where that's going to pull them out at, again, somebody like, remember, like I told you about that Twilight Zone episode where the couple woke up drunk in a little town, but it was
hmm,
like a model town.
yeah,
And come to find out near the end that this giant girl looked over and the mother was like, come on, come eat your dinner. You can play with your toys later.
yeah.
They were like trapped on a giant doll set, you know. So whatever it was, maybe something just was like, all right, time to pull my toys over here to the ocean where for whatever.
No, that's a really good point, because there was a picture when the boy was looking through the drawings with his mom and his sister, and I guess I'll try to be nice on my description of them at that moment, because he was serious about it. Hey, we gotta read these to get out of here, and they just ignored him.
Yeah, he was giving them the clues.
He's like, hey, I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to go.
Ready to go. Here's the keys. Here's the keys to the kingdom. And they're like, nah, 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 nah. Whatever.
Nah, we should go. We should think about what we're gonna do later.
Yeah, you're a child. We're not listening to you.
They did slow down and do some screenshots of those pictures, and there was one where it looked like a fishbowl or some sort of snow globe.
The snow globe or the dome effect.
The dome effect, yep.
Under a dome being manipulated as pets, maybe.
Mhm. And I zoomed in a lot too, and it seemed to be like a level where it's like a green layer, which would be the grass and the trees and the upper sky, and then below that was a brown, like a dirt, and it looked like there was a connection underground. And we know that the wife is digging under her house,
Yeah.
and she hit in this episode into the woods. She hit something.
Bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like she hit exactly over a hatch. How convenient.
How convenient. And it's like after she hit that hatch, it hit the bottom. Next thing you know, she's dreaming she's going up a tower. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this was the funny part, because I really was watching that and I'm like, man, she's down there digging. I'm like, where's Jim? And he's up at the top with the bucket, like
he's
that
hauling,
she
hauling dirt.
hauling dirt. She just dug a 20-foot deep tunnel in literally a couple of days.
Yeah, that's some serious digging.
Man, little to no help. Her daughter came and sat by for a second. Maybe the little boy was doing more than we thought.
Or again, it's like that thing where you are manifesting from the now. You're making this. We
Oh,
want to dig this hole, so all
it's
right,
dug. It's dug. Yep.
here's the hole.
Yep.
We
Yep.
want to
That is
eat
true.
let's go to the diner. We want to eat. Okay, well, here's food. Ain't
That
nobody
is true.
asking where it's coming from. Ain't nobody asking where you done dug a 20 by 20 foot hole in the basement, but you only got a little mound of dirt outside.
You broke through the concrete subfloor
They
with just the average shovel?
Yeah, if you, it's kind of like if you can think of it, it can happen.
It can happen. What is this, the chocolate factory?
There it is. Yeah,
Now, what do you think the monsters are? Because I was really hoping that vampires at first. I mean, I love a great B vampire flick,
right.
right?
But whatever these things are, like each and every one of the bodies, it leaves the head and the legs. It's like it
Yeah.
mutilates the chest cavity and leaves the head intact.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
there was another video saying that were they eating the people, or were they just doing it to kind of like scare or harvest the organs,
or were they attacking them and doing a LV-426 alien
something
xenomorph,
chest
putting
burster.
something inside of them so that they could produce more, and then they blow out from the chest.
No, that is true. I mean, I've watched so many episodes of Dexter, and if anyone watching has seen Dexter before, he was a blood splatter analysis. And those rooms with the blood, you're right, it would be, you can tell if it's an outward or inward, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was an inward, right, the blood would be, it would be in,
Yeah,
and he was saying it looks like the ribs are broken outwards
broken outwards.
and the blood is out.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even really think about that until you said that.
So, yeah, yeah,
It's a little bit of the thing going on here.
yeah. Again, these creatures, they're taking on the characteristics of things that you might not look twice at. The dude in the milkman outfit, the grandmother, the little girl, just to get up close on you, because
Mhm.
somebody like that passes you at the mailbox, and it's like, oh, hey, and then the next thing you know, it's on you, putting something inside of you to pop you, to spawn.
Wow, you're absolutely right, and maybe it doesn't take that long.
Maybe
So,
that's
I mean,
on.
we do have to say though that they did catch a like. Remember, Father Kadri got cut
Yeah,
and died, but
and
I guess
that
that
was
was probably
what
the only one.
that was pretty much before they could get, because he was like turning when it hit him, and they pulled him inside.
And also funny about the Father Kadri murder is because that was the only time like they've been running into the house for probably like 2 or 3 episodes, right? And they've been close, right?
Right,
But it seems very purposeful on how to get close, right? Because remember the boy, I watched it again. There was like probably like 6 of them behind him, and the boy stepped forward and said, "Hey, don't you recognize me?" So apparently he was waiting for her, and then now I'm sure the same way they knew Father Cadre was there or could see him, and whoever that was could have been, it could have been on purpose
yeah,
how it happened, not random.
yeah, yeah, yep.
Yeah, so that
So,
was big. So I mean, but they said they could be someone said like a Celtic theory where they're like something called a sloth, like a Slough,
okay, yeah,
and that has something to do with like, the devil and hell and because Father Cadre was saying this could be a New Testament and
yeah.
Boyd being like the Jesus figure, so there has to be some sort of devil.
Yin and yang. You got
Yeah.
gotta have yin and yang.
My biggest theory that I like is that Jim is the devil.
And his wife and kids don't know.
Don't know. I mean, isn't that how it works? I mean,
Yeah, you take a figure that you're not
you never
like.
suspect. This guy's a Sose.
Yeah, exactly.
He's driving, they get in an accident, right? Usually when I see somebody get in an accident, the first thing they do is yell at the driver, like, "Yo, you driving crazy. What's the matter with you?"
Yeah,
They just kind of took it like he crashed, like, oh, and I get that the car was coming, but it didn't seem that close.
yeah. Well, he's in a Winnebago. They're in a little, they're in a little.
Exactly.
All you got to do is step on the brakes and let the thing clip you.
Exactly.
It ain't gonna jump
Exactly.
up and go through the windshield. He ain't have to drive all crazy like that onto a ditch. Like
Exactly.
you got the right of way and you got the weight. You driving a truck practically. So, but
And then he was pretty eager to open that door in the Winnebago, like, "Hey, what's out there?"
let him in.
To the point where the girl had a night terror that he opened the door. She was scared, like, "Oh, this guy is just going to." She knew. I mean, that's intent right there. She could just feel his intent to open that door,
Right.
and really put them at risk. And I was saying maybe that's because that was him versus Boyd, and that's the ultimate showdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was going to end it right there. Like, I'll just bring him in and we'll just jump him. What we'll see with Jim though, but
We'll,
it could be.
we'll see.
But
We'll see. It's going to be interesting. But
the
you go with the look again. Look at the theory of them being some type of shape shifting creature that's looking to repopulate, to keep their numbers up, because when they get in the place, like every time they left that window open, they all come in like locusts,
hmm
all of them. So one gets in the house, like when the girl, like when the girl killed that dude upstairs. You thought he was her girl, playing pretending to be his girlfriend. She killed him, and then she opened up the window so the rest of them could come in.
hmm
So they like not only bloodthirsty, but again, they're not eating anybody. It's like they need the heart need to get into the body, and who knows from there. But I guess we're gonna find out later on.
Only one way Sunday.
Yep,
What do you think? What do you think is up with Victor? Where do you think he went?
jumped in the forever tree and bounced someplace.
Some do you think he could have went out of this world, like out of that world?
He could, he could be the conduit to something good, because he's been there since he's been a kid.
hmm
Doesn't have violent tendencies. He's scribbling and drawing those pictures, and those pictures, I bet you, if they were to take all of his drawings, it would put together a story, and they
Well,
would, and
yeah.
that would probably tell them the entirety of what's been going on here.
Oh, that made me also think too. Remember about the spiders? That was the other thing that was looming around on the topic, was that there was some sort of spiders involved. But I guess in more of a theory now, because someone pointed out in a comment that the night that Jim and the Matthew family arrived, it was raining, and the pictures that the son was pointing out to his mom and sister kept having pictures of spiders, but it was always a spider in the rain.
Hmm.
And so it could be, one of them came. It could be a boy, or it could be, my theory, Jim,
Mhm.
and it could be some other stuff going on in that relationship where the daughter's not his either. I mean, he kind of really hasn't even been chilling with her. She's up at the at the
I'm
at
going to
the
the college
house.
house. Okay, all right, yeah, sure, sure. You're only 13. Go right ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You got a boyfriend up there, great.
Yeah, we just crashed into a town with creatures that rip us apart, but
Yeah,
you're gonna go live up the street with some strangers? Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna bother you.
yeah.
Let her go. Let her go, honey. She's fine. Let her go.
He's only worried about the boy.
Only worried about that boy, and Victor is somehow connected to that boy. So that's
Yes. And so, do you think Victor is the boy?
good. That could be.
Like his, maybe like the tree has some time element, so it's like a loop, a constant loop.
Yeah, like he
Like the
got in
going
as a
back to
little
the.
boy and came out as an adult.
Yep, yep. And then it's just, but he keeps going in the tree and keeps going back as a boy.
Yeah, keeps coming back out. So
Like I guess that's kind of like the what you said, the what was written on the cafe and the diner.
hmm
Was that it right there? We just passed it when she was in the diner. Was that the scene? No,
I
that
think
wasn't the
that was
scene.
it. Yeah.
Let me see if I can go back real quick since we talking about it. Man, but they was set up for the long haul. He's walking around, ring the bell. I guess the
It was
ice cream
it,
man was
it was
coming and all that.
on episode 6. Let me see. Does they show it here?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see. Like, as the series goes on, I go back to see like what I could have caught earlier. Like what
Yeah,
was
go,
there.
go to episode 6 in like 5, 10 minutes into it, and it'll show you them in the diner.
Okay, I'll go to that. I'll go to that next. Man, you're right. They had pots. They look like they had spaghetti cooking. Somebody had like a souffle salad, potatoes.
Nah, it was behind. It would be behind. It would be
Behind the counter.
cash
Yeah,
register. Yeah,
yeah. They must be in New Jersey, home of the diners.
Clinton Station Diner, home of the world's greatest hamburger.
And there's the Nordic rune. That definitely is. But see, this is the funny thing. When we said Nordic, they was like, you mean like Thor and Odin?
Not
Not that. I definitely think the energy and the spirit, not actually those characters.
actually those characters. No.
Yeah, no. But my favorite theory is the boat theory. I know we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, well, it's got something to do with them in that boat. I mean, at the lighthouse. I
hmm
could hear the foghorn, and they were definitely being the searchlight was going around like on top of a lighthouse. So
Oh, I'm on Epix.com. I can only do the first 3 episodes.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
yeah,
And there was a picture talking about the boat. There was a picture in one of the episodes where, like, the same episode, he was showing his mom and his sister the pictures. If you look in one of the background, the picture is the water, and there's a roof, and
right,
there's people standing on the roof,
okay, like a flood, like from a
like a
flood.
flood. Hmm.
So
I mean, I don't really get the. I know he said a testament or testimonial, a new chapter or whatever in the Bible, but there hasn't been like a 12 type of plague type thing, and I know that's not necessarily relate with that chapter of the Bible, but usually you'll see those type of things like flood, and then there was the
yeah,
locust. Like they're not really following that.
the seven plagues, but
Yeah,
this
that's
this
it.
this is going to come down to something. This is going to come down to something deep, something feeding on them.
Yeah, I believe so too.
And so somebody's manifesting this, and like you said, like through sphere.
So, all right, here we go. So, before we wrap up, final thoughts. Sunday's coming. What are you betting on Sunday as far as what it will be?
All right, well, Boyd, Sarah, they're going to be near the ocean. They're going to be near the lighthouse. Where that's how that's going to tie in is going to be beyond me. The other thing I've wondered is like, hey, why don't you get on the train tracks? It's linear. It's going to go one direction or the other,
That's true. That's
and
true.
go far out, and you can always turn around and follow the tracks back. But nobody's done that yet.
And you said there was train tracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it in the middle of the village?
Yeah, yeah. When
Mm,
they do an aerial view,
okay.
like when Boyd went to go visit his wife's grave, they show. I'm like, there's the train tracks
The
again,
train tracks.
going
Now
right
what
going right across the street.
what about now, and I like that. And I'm trying to get an aerial view here now. Let me see if I can make this bigger. That's probably the best I can get. So there's the main house, and I'm looking for the motel. I can't really see. Here's a diner. I think the motel is across from the diner. And what I was thinking about is how they're saying the trees are getting closer. You think the
Oh,
trees could have like got rid of the tracks the same way as the motel?
like overgrowing it
Yeah, yeah.
and from seeing things.
Because you're right. Boyd being a military, he would have. You're right. That probably been the first thing he did because that's what they did in The Walking Dead.
Right, right. Here's something else about all of the creatures that's attacking them. All of them are kind of like dressed in a period of like the mid to late 50s, early 60s type outfits.
Right.
Their clothes are like, their clothes and outfits are kind of like Leave It to Beaver style. The old style milkman, the girl with the round collar, that's some Holly Hobby type outfit
Mm-hmm.
from like the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention Victor has been in the town since the 60s.
Yeah. Right. That's true. That is
So
true.
so that's Victor is definitely a key to this. But why everything, even the town, even the homes are
Mm-hmm.
all based like 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that. I was like, man,
So
who is living in these houses?
something something catastrophic must have happened in this town, in this place, and maybe that little boy, the one that keeps showing up but doesn't attack, is trying to get one of them there to help him maybe right the wrong that caused all this.
Well, this might be a stretch and a reach on this theory, but I'll put it out there. The way you just put that gives it me Akira vibes. Like you know how Akira was, pretty much like in the hospital was like a cell or something like that, but
Hmm.
his intent escaped, whatever wherever it was and took on a form of itself that influenced everything around him.
Right.
They
Nope.
could be a big reach.
That's no, but that's the Emily Dickinson. That's that poem.
So we could find out that Victor really is dead, but he's alive, and this manifestation came more from he's in that town.
Yeah.
His energy just took it over and made it all this nightmare.
If you go to episode 6, about 10 minutes in the diner, like I said, and it kind of like paused on the bottom of, there were some more words was written on that plaque on that plaque. But the camera definitely froze there for, a couple of seconds, so it could be clearly be read, and all the other words were like phased out. But I'm gonna
Hmm.
read it again as we sign off. Forever is composed of nows. That's what was written there.
Okay, well, that's great. That's great information. You definitely came with the exclusive. Thanks for coming on the show and talking about it. We'll have to get you on here and talk about some more shows. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. Until next time.
Till next time, take care, everybody.